Good evening, Colorado. This is Josh with K4CO Radio. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. We certainly are. Yeah. Did you like that?
I do.
It's been a Monday.
I know, it has been a Monday.
Stressful...
You have to start with just the reality. It's a couple days after Halloween.
Hello, Colorado. Mondays stink.
We're tired. Here we are. It's a little bumpy, but you know what? It's going to end really, really well.
It is.
So, yes. Happy post-Halloween, everyone.
And we have a wonderful person to talk to end this Monday kind of right here. So I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Kourtney Roberts, who is the insurance health advisor and founder of Willow Health Plans. How's it going, Kourtney?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, you guys are celebrating a not so fun Monday.
We are
finishing with health insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
So yay!
Yes.
But you're fun to talk to.
Yay!
The subject itself, I mean, it's an interesting subject.
Yes, it is.
Especially with everything going on. I mean, and we'll definitely get into it. But I mean, you hear stuff from everybody, you know, rates going up, things changing, everything's kind of just, you know, going into a little bit of a chaotic thing. But that's why you do what you do, so that you can kind of take some of that stress off of people and teach them, let them be knowledgeable. So that's what I like.
Yeah.
So it's always nice when you can just call someone and say, here.
Fix it.
Fix it,
Especially, I
please.
like having a person to talk to.
Exactly.
Wanted to make sure, thank you all for tuning in. If you're listening on the K4CO radio app, you can always message the app too.
You can.
Which I want to make sure that if you have your phone with you and you are tune in that way, you can just message. If you have a question or a comment, which is great. We are currently in open enrollment, so let us know what your questions are, because you should have some questions. I know that we do. If you are in front of your tablet or your computer, you can jump on our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, all over K4CO. And you can, of course, comment and question on the social media pages as well. To follow along, go to willowhealthplans.com. Everything about Kourtney is there with her services, testimonials, how to contact her. If you are listening, you can reach out via calling or texting as well, 720-734-7702. And now is the time. Please do this before the holiday season is upon you. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. Get ahead of the game. It's one less thing you have to think about, right? Just
Very
get
true.
it done.
Exactly.
Thank you again. I know we had you in a couple weeks ago, so I appreciate you coming back again.
Yeah, this works out good because I have way more facts about what 2026 looks like. Which last time I was like, be optimistic till we know.
Yes, it is good. Once you're in the weeds, you actually can kind of educate a little more as life is.
And last time it was before enrollment, correct? So now that enrollment has started, when exactly did it start?
It started on Saturday.
Okay, on Saturday. Perfect.
Wow. Did anyone call on Saturday?
Oh, yeah, I had appointments on Saturday.
You did? Good for them. Like the day after Halloween, people are like,
yeah,
thank you for trick-or-treating and help.
Yes. Yeah, there's a good amount of my clients that are like, let's just get it over with. So,
good.
yeah,
you know what? I appreciate those people.
Yes, I do too, because the ones that wait till December 15th, I'm like, I only have so many hours today.
The professional procrastinators.
Yeah, which I am too, so I can't use it against them. But yes, it's rough. So
we have roughly another 6-ish weeks for open enrollment.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to put the phone number out there again, because we literally are going through this too, and we'll jump into the weeds a little bit, and then we'll get into more of the general stuff. So it's 720-734-7702. Again, it's Kourtney with Willow Health Plans, and you can email her. Kourtney is with a K. We'll talk about sign language too. Kourtney at willowhealthplans.com.
That's why we call her Special K.
Let's not. Which I think I said last time. That's not a good reference.
Hey, it's fine.
All right.
Like I said, I've been called worse.
We'll go with that is derogatory. Okay. So, and she's beautiful and wonderful and all
That
of
she is.
Okay, Kourtney with a K. So people, you have 6 weeks. What's the biggest thing that you are talking about with open enrollment when people are calling in?
Rates, right? We all expected it. We all saw it. Government's not fixing it. and because they're just not focused on the right thing, so it doesn't matter what they pass.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, just rates and the shock of the increases for 26. And my biggest concern, honestly, is you don't realize that there are scams in the health insurance world until it happens to you or until you're in it. And so my biggest concern, honestly, right now is people not working with a broker that's actually trustworthy and ending up in a plan that's not actually health insurance.
What is the most common way that people can be scammed? Just so they can be on the lookout for if they get an email or a text.
So there's two things you want to make sure that your plan has. The first one is you want to make sure it's monitored by the Department of Insurance. So you want to make sure it's actually health insurance. Okay. The second part is to make sure it has an out-of-pocket maximum. There are a lot of plans that'll come in a lot less expensive, but if you end up with a $200,000 bill, you never stop bleeding money. And so you end up out $20, $30, $60, $100,000 because at no point are you covered 100%. So those are the two things, the easiest things to just make sure you have coverage.
Okay. So. And I can't stress this enough, just across the board, to contact a human being and talk through it, because there's so many things. It's very individual, and it's not a general. Insurance is the same for everyone. Everyone has different circumstances with employment, family, travel, health, age. So to have someone to call is extremely beneficial.
Yes, yeah, making sure you call somebody that you trust or you've done research on or is licensed, whatever that is. But yeah, call somebody, and everybody's situation is different. I, talked to somebody today, and I literally said to her, I think 1% of my clients are on this plan, but you fit that 1%, right? And it's just, you got to look at the big picture. It's not always as cut and dry as what my premium is and what my out-of-pocket is, and you move on with life. There's a lot more to it. So
right. And I know you're here in Colorado, but you serve lots of states, right?
Yes, I have 31 states, and if you ask me to tell them to you, I will fail. I'm not gonna lie, I always forget.
So
if you ask me a certain state, I'll say yes or no, but I cannot say it in order.
It's kind of like that game too, where you have to name all of this 50 states in 6 minutes.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I could do it if I had 24 hours. I would forget.
Oh wow.
I think there's like a song that we were supposed to learn in elementary school. I never learned it.
Yeah.
For like the states.
Yeah, I never learned it out of my brain.
Yeah, I never learned it.
I couldn't either. Are you focused more on the west, north, east, south, or is
I'm all over the place.
You are? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I am all over the place. So, and I know people all over the place. So in the States, I'm not licensed, and I do know people that can help too. So
awesome.
Yeah, just reach out. It's my job to make sure you end up in a safe spot. So.
Okay. And you do all sorts of insurance plans, of course. Mm-hmm. You focus on individuals, you focus on families, self-employed, corporate, all of the gamut, correct?
Yes, okay. I can do everything. So I can do individuals to businesses, small businesses. I now have an agent working for me that can do bigger businesses. So yeah, you name it, I can do it. And if I can't do it, I can tell you who to go to do it. So yes, I do it. I mean, even today I had somebody reach out and say, hey, can you just take a look at my employer coverage? I'm pretty sure it's where I want to go, but I just want to make sure. And I looked at it. It took me less than 2 minutes to be like, this is fantastic. Take it. So
I was going to ask that too, because they said, take a look at my employer's coverage, because there are times where somebody is employed by a company, but doesn't want to go with their insurance for whatever reason it is.
Yeah. Most of the time it's the spouse or family coverage that ends up really expensive. Okay. And so that's normally when they don't want to take employer coverage. But every once in a while I run into people where even the employer, I have a couple clients in my book that the employer actually doesn't contribute anything. They just offer options, but those options are really expensive for them. So it doesn't make sense for them to take it either. So like I said, it only takes me a couple minutes to know if it's a good fit for them or if they do need to shop around. Yeah. So
gotcha.
And how long have you been doing insurance?
3 years. It'll be 3 years this month.
Okay.
Nice.
Happy
one day
anniversary.
This month. Thanks. Yes.
What drew
it's been fun.
you to it? What drew you to insurance?
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
I just wanted to bring it up.
No, you're good. The lovely world of infertility. So I was with a big retail corporation. I was a district manager. I loved it. I had 15 stores. I thought I was going to die there.
Right.
I loved every second of it. And then I realized how much stress I was internally carrying. So that took me over to being self-employed. And I think I tell everybody, if you asked me 5 years ago if I was going to be self-employed, I would have laughed like in your face, like been like, no, because I thought I was going to live and die a corporate girly. And now it's like my mission to make everybody self-employed because it's the best thing that ever happened to me. So yeah.
We're in that boat for sure.
Yeah.
Once you kind of dip your toe and then you're fully launched, it's hard to go back.
Yes.
So we totally understand that.
Yes. I think about that. I'm like, the first year when you make the jump is terrifying.
Yeah.
But then it gets better and better and better. And yeah, my most stressful days, I always knock on wood because you never know, but my most stressful days here will never even come close to corporate. So
yeah. Well, yes.
I'm going to trust you every year. It just gets better and better. All right. I like it.
That's what I've been telling you too.
True. Very true.
It gets better. You got to hang on the first year. For sure.
are you in your first year?
This is our second year.
We just celebrated 2 years in September.
Yeah, at the end of September.
So we're inching up on 2+.
Yeah. So.
Every year it gets a little easier.
All right. I'm going to trust you on that.
Yeah, I'm going on technically this was year 3, so I'm going on year 4.
Okay.
Right. So, and yeah, it's looking good.
Right.
Year 2 was a little rocky. Year 3, way better. I took like 7 vacations this year, so.
Oh, well, that's
There you
way
go.
better.
There's that stress little way going away.
Yeah.
The secret is to really not work.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
do it in a different location.
Yes.
Secret to stress is
You
a
can
beach
do-
and a margarita every once in a
Yes,
while.
you can do radio from the beach, right? Right? We
Exactly.
can make
Of
that work.
course. Yeah, of course.
So what are some of the biggest things, honestly, that people just don't think about because I was in corporate America for quite some time, and honestly, when health insurance came up, employer health insurance came up, I'm just like, okay, I have to choose one of these. I didn't even honestly know that I thought that was my best options is to go with your employer because they should have a financial invested interest in you, and this should be, wow, I'm employed. I'm with this great company. This is what I should choose from. But what are some of the things that people just don't really think about when choosing?
Yeah, I think what you have to realize is everybody's level of health insurance, if they're not in the industry, is like significantly low. And so even if you're in a corporation, even your HR department doesn't quite understand the health insurance options, right? So if you've ever called HR and said, well, what does this mean? A lot of times they're like, well, and they can't really tell you. And so when you think about that, they do think they're setting you up in a good spot, and they just aren't. The biggest things to really understand is, one, what does your usage look like, and what's that going to look like when you end the year, right? Everybody always says, well, I'm healthy, but for myself, for example, I take Adderall. I have to go to my doctor by law every 3 months to get a refill. Now, I cheat the system a little bit, but in general, I have to go every 3 months, right? And so I don't want a plan that doesn't have a copay for primary care because I go every 3 months, right? And so it's just understanding what your usage is, even if you are healthy. And then again, understanding deductible is such a insignificant number in health insurance. Knowing your out-of-pocket maximum is the most important. A lot of people don't even know that number exists. They don't know what it means. They just trust until they get a crazy bill that they weren't expecting. So,
Which I've heard happens every once in a while.
quite often. Quite often,
I
yes.
think we've both experienced that in the last few years.
Exactly.
I just got off the phone with somebody today. Very sweet woman. She has to get a colonoscopy every year. And this last colonoscopy she went into, they found a polyp. And with the polyp, that now makes it to where it's not preventative. And so she got a $3,000 bill for it. So what she thought was going to be free was then turned into diagnostic in the middle of the procedure. You have no control over that, and she wasn't expecting that. So those are the things that you need to know.
So the test changed because they found something.
Yep.
So then it became much more expensive because they found something.
Yeah, what should have been free was $3,000.
Wow.
It is. It's so many. I mean, every person on planet Earth, I would assume, at some point has something unexpected. Right? You get in a car accident or you fall over or you get diagnosed with something and you're totally healthy and boom, this thing comes up.
I think that's the basis of insurance is that unexpected stuff where it's just like you do it for a tragedy. You don't do it for kind of basic stuff anymore. I remember growing up, it was basic stuff.
Yes. No, it really has gotten there. You can get plans that'll cover small stuff, but in general, you need to be more worried about the big stuff. And that's kind of why I said you need a plan with an out-of-pocket max. There's what's called limited benefit plans out there, and they cover the small stuff so well. So they sound so good. Like, we'll give you this much for a doctor's appointment. We'll give you this much for therapy. We'll give you this much for, any lab you have. And so you're like, oh, that's fantastic. But the minute you have a $500,000 hospital bill, you're in not a good place. Yeah. And so, your biggest concern with health insurance is the big stuff. The small stuff, realistically, if you didn't have health insurance, you could cash pay for the small stuff and you'd probably be okay. The whole point is the big stuff. And so I think I brought it up last time too, but it's like having car insurance that covers battery replacements and windshields versus car insurance that covers you totaling your car.
Right.
You need it for totaling your car. You don't need it for your windshield replacement. Although that would be nice. You really just need it for your totaling your car.
Well, of course, because we can afford the $40 to go get new windshield wipers. But yeah, when it's your entire car, that's a large
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with your body. You can fix a toenail that is being ripped off versus a few limbs.
Yes.
So, makes sense.
Yeah, the big stuff. And then the other thing too is what people need to realize is health insurance also isn't just financial, is the minute you have something diagnosed health-wise that is a little bit more of a specialty or a little bit more rare or, cancer or anything big and critical, a lot of doctors, like specialists, won't see you if you have health insurance or won't see if you have, unless you have really good health insurance. And that's not really the plan, it's the network. And so if you look it up, there's a ton of research that shows the death rate for people that don't have health insurance is actually much higher than those that do, just because those that do go to the doctor more and they get better care when something does happen.
All right. I got to ask this then, because I've heard of this. Of course, I would not say to do it, but I have heard that when something does happen and you go, your first thing, gentleman told me this, is say, no, I don't have insurance. See what the coverage, see what the bill is, see what everything is. And then a lot of times you can not only pay less, but get seen quicker.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's really about knowing your coverage. So
Okay.
if I am in a high deductible plan that doesn't give me any coverage until I hit my deductible, and so I pay full price for every doctor's visit and everything, every prescription, everything I do, then yeah, the cash rate's probably better than full price because they will bill insurance hundreds of dollars more than what they will charge you in most cases. So yeah, that's about knowing your insurance. But if I have co-pays or if I have a low deductible plan or if I know I'm going to be getting surgeries or stuff done, I actually do want to contribute to my deductible. So no, I don't want to do that. And so you have to know your coverage because it really just depends on where you're sitting with your coverage.
Right. I still honestly, I don't get that. It doesn't click in my mind how that's even legal. I'm so like where you just be like, I don't have insurance. How much is it? Oh, $400. Oh, I do have insurance. Oh, well then we're going to bill $2,000.
Yes.
I don't understand that connect there.
Yes. And that right there, if you want to protest, is what what politicians need to fix, right? So healthcare cost itself is what it needs to fix. That's why insurance rates are high. I'm not saying insurance is perfect, but insurance rates are high for a good reason. I last time gave you guys the example, but it's just true. If I go somewhere and I get a mammogram, they're going to bill insurance around $1,200, $1,000. If I go in, I can probably cash pay for less than $200. That's wild, right?
It's insane.
Yeah. So
yeah, but to your point, like it is hundreds of thousands if you're going into the hospital
Yes.
for a surgery. I mean, in those cases, 100% you want to have coverage.
Well, and that's where you want coverage because of those
course.
big things that could happen. That's what insurance is all about now.
Yes.
I mean, insurance doesn't cover like some roof shingles and some paint stuff, but if your house burns down, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's, what she talked about too is having an expert on your side and really understanding your situation. That one person I talked about, I talked to somebody today and she only sees naturopath type doctors. Well, most naturopath doctors do not take insurance. And so what we did is we put her on a catastrophic plan. It's still expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. Catastrophic plan that's HSA eligible. She's a business owner. She now can max out her contribution. So it's like $6,800 or so a year that she can put into her HSA. And so she can take that HSA money and use it towards her naturopath doctors. Right. Her insurance covers none of it, but she's at least saving the tax money on it. Right. And so you just have to know your coverage to know what makes sense for you and your situation. And everybody's is so drastically different. And it's different every year. It's absolutely different every year. You know, you get diagnosed with one thing, or you're planning to move, or you're going to be traveling for work out of state more. Like, variables change so often with insurance. And so you really should look at it year over year. You know, a couple of years ago, I was on an HSA plan and it made sense for me. Now I'm on Adderall. HSA doesn't make sense because I don't want to have to pay full price when I see my doctor every 3 months. Right. And so you have to judge it based off of what you know about yourself and what you can kind of predict. So
with it changing all the, you know, pretty much every year, open enrollment just came. What are probably some of the biggest changes that you've seen this year?
Rates.
Just the rates. All right.
No, so out-of-pocket maxes went from, you know, in the 9,000. So 9,250 was kind of the max that it could be last year. It now can be up to 10,600 for an individual, 21,200 for a family. Yeah, it's insane.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
so that out-of-pocket max is, that's why it's so important to know. You could have a plan with a $2,000 deductible and you're like, I'm great, but if you end up in the hospital, you're going to be out 10,000.
Right.
And you got to know that. And for a family to be out 21,000, that's wild. And so you got to have a plan for that. So.
Right.
Can you touch a little bit on that? I know you briefly mentioned it. Because it's been a shock for him and I just to even say, like, I can't believe this is happening. So to maybe buffer it a little to say, because this is across the board that this is happening. So I know you had mentioned before that sometimes it's just a Band-Aid fix, but for the average person, which I am below average, let's be real. So because the sticker shock is a real thing, right? And we're experiencing this nationwide for many different reasons, and people are going, what's going on? So what do you think are some of the underlying reasons that the rates are doing what they're doing?
So what people don't realize, and when you look at the Affordable Care Act to begin with, and those are the rates that we're talking about, right, is the Affordable Care Act plans. That was originally created so anybody and everybody could get coverage for anything pre-existing, anything going on in their lives. And they could see a doctor for whatever reason, and insurance couldn't decline if it was, you know, something that was already going on in their lives. That thought was absolutely fantastic. What didn't go through anybody's head, I think, at that time, or not enough people's heads at that time, was what happens when I get a lot of people on plans that have cancer, that smoke, that have kidney dialysis, that, you know, need constant therapy, whatever that is. Those people 100% again deserve health insurance. But as we just talked about, doctors and hospitals and everybody are billing insurance so drastically high that every year insurance has to recalibrate what their loss of claims was to what their premiums they got in were. Right. And so all that's happening right now with the rate increases is claims have gone up, and healthcare costs have gone up, and insurances are getting billed more and more that they have to offset that somewhere. And what they're offsetting that is in premiums and in coverage. And so coverage is going to go low, premiums are going to go higher. That has happened every year. This year you're seeing a little bit more of it, but in general, this is we've seen the same increases or similar increases over the last few years. The one thing that people don't understand right now is what Congress is actually in the lockdown for right now is the COVID relief that we had. So the actual expanded premium tax credits. Most people that get tax credits actually aren't influenced that much on it. So the actual tax subsidies are very similar to what they've been in past, if not more, right? I put in somebody today, what they saved on their plan last year was $400. What they would save on their plan this year was $500. That didn't change. What changed was their plan went from $750 to $920. And so, yes, they're saving $100 more, but their plan went up $170 more. So now they're paying $70 more a month, right? And so that's actually what's changing. So who's most heavily impacted besides everybody, because plan rates went up, is the actual expanded premium tax credits are only people above 400% poverty line, which I know this is probably too much math, but above 400% poverty line, but their rates were more than 8.5% of their total income. those people were getting the expanded tax credits. They are no longer getting those. So those people are the heaviest, the most impacted. But in general, everybody's just seeing the rate increases. That's it. Like, they're just seeing the overall rate increases. Tax subsidies are very similar. Colorado actually did something fantastic and is doing a premium assistance for people under 400% poverty line. So the first person saves $80. Everybody else in the family saves $29. So you're getting that savings too. For example, today I put somebody in their federal tax credit was $1, but then they saved $80 because of Colorado, right? So $81, which is really nice. So all of that stuff's actually pretty good. What we're not controlling is the rate increases, which we really can't control because we're not controlling healthcare cost. So I know that was a really long answer.
No, I love that. You're an expert. That's why I wanted, like, this is why people call you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right? Because if I was online, all of that would go way over my head. So when we call you, because we need you to look at some stuff, and so put it in like layman's terms. So you said 400% over the poverty line. Mm-hmm. What number is that?
It depends. So for an individual, it's about over 62,000.
Okay.
For a couple, it's like, I think 100.
Okay.
I have a chart.
No,
but
that's
yeah,
okay. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I just want our listeners to kind of know that this is coming down the pipe here.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I can tell you is on average, in most states that I've been shopping, every person I'm seeing, their premium is increasing $100 to $200 without tax subsidies. And then if you have a tax subsidy kind of layer in there, then things can be a lot more dramatic or a lot less depending on where you fit in that category. Okay. But other than what you just said, like, just reach out. Like, I'm here to help. I can make it make sense for you and your situation. But that was like the government terms for what's going on.
No, for sure. I mean, and back to kind of Josh's original question was, or what we had talked about was, the corporation that you're working for does, I mean, know you relatively well, but they don't know the inherent details, right? Until you actually call your insurance person and say, oh yeah, my kid has X, Y, and Z, or we're moving, or we're planning on being pregnant, or whatever the situation is, because there's so many moving parts that a website can't tell you and can't explain it like a human being. And same thing with business. And there's nothing bad about calling someone, just saying, hey, look at what we have, let's talk about this. Because they might be in their perfect plan, or they might not.
Yeah, you just have to remember, in our culture nowadays, everybody's a number and everybody's an average.
Right.
So everything you're saying, you're just a number and you're just an average. So if somebody's saying, well, this plan's really good because you said you're medium usage. What is medium usage? Right? Right?
Exactly.
Tell me what that means, right? And they'll be like, well, you go to the doctor such and such and this, and like, no, you're just a number at that point in time. They're telling you averages. And so, yeah, you really do want to personalize things as best as possible. And it never hurts to reach out. Like, my services are 1,000% free. Insurance companies pay me. But even for that woman that emailed me her employer brochures today, it took me 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. I'll never see a dime from her. And that's fine. Like, it took me 2 minutes. I can afford that. So
that's great. Yeah. And everyone I know is on some form of medication. Mm-hmm. So it's true.
Yeah, no,
I mean, and it's not a good thing. It's just the way life is.
Yep.
But again, that definitely factors in because that's reoccurring, right? Mm-hmm. Some are weekly, some are daily, some are monthly. So to get that figured out and to say, yeah, I do go to the doctor, or I have this treatment that's coming, or I'm scheduling a surgery. There's so many outliers to factor in. Yeah. And I think that, at least for me personally, being in the corporate worlds previously, it's like, do I really want to divulge all of my intimate information with my boss? That's just a question that I'm going to put out there, versus calling an individual like you, be like, all right, here's what's coming. Like, here's what I'm going through. Here's what my kids are going through. Because sometimes we,
Mm-hmm. Or even your boss or HR or whatever it is, just call the specialist who deals with it. So
exactly.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Kourtney Roberts, insurance health advisor and founder of Willow Health Plans. You can go to willowhealthplans.com. Phone number is also 720-734-7702. If you're listening on the radio, that was for you. If you are watching on our social media platforms, this information is going to be, it's been going over the screen. I do have a question, because you mentioned the reason for all of these raising costs, and you said we're all numbers here. And the reason for the raising costs is a lot of a lot of claims, everything. So in my world, what I think, and I don't know that much, is a lot of insurance is across the United States. There's insurance companies that are just handled within a state, within Colorado. Then there's also the government type plans. Give us a little bit of Cliff's Notes on that, because in my mind, if you have insurance that is over all these different states, then all the claims that are happening outside of your state is affecting you. If you're with a local Colorado plan that just covers Colorado, then it does not affect you. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So if I'm in a group type coverage for an employer, most likely it's going to be a nationwide type plan. And in that case, statistically, they're looking at how many employees you have. What are the average ages of your employees? So what is that risk level from a nation standpoint? When you look at Colorado rates increases versus Georgia rate increases versus Florida on, healthcare.gov, ACA, Connect for Health Colorado, whatever that is, they're looking at just their state claims and how they need to adjust premiums based off of those state claims. And in a lot of cases, too, it's not even that claims themselves has gone up. It's just the cost of the claims have gone up so much. And so they have to be able to cover that by the end of the year. But yeah, they're looking at risk level for the clients that they are helping. Right. And that's who's offsetting it. But what you have to realize is they're also looking at all ages. Right. And so if I'm a 26-year-old that just got kicked off my parents' plan and I only go to my annual physical every year, my rates also increased, even though on average 26-year-olds are less likely to have as many claims, right? Because now I'm offsetting the 62-year-old that goes to the doctor monthly because they have major issues. And so Colorado looks at Colorado as a whole, not just their specific age group or anything. And so they can only increase things so much. They can only be a certain percentage disparity between the 26-year-old's premium and the 62-year-old's premium, although there's a drastic one. On paper, it can only be so far. And so you see everybody go up a giant percentage, no matter how much your own risk level is. So there are plans out there that I highly advise that are based off of your own health and things like that can save you a ton of money, or they don't cover certain things. Like there's a plan out there that doesn't cover maternity. Well, if I'm a man or if I'm a woman that does not plan to get pregnant anytime soon, why not pay less for that, right? Versus if I go on Connect for Health Colorado, those plans are required to cover maternity. They're required to cover preventative. They're required to cover a lot of things that a lot of people don't use. So there are different plans that you can shop out there that you might actually save money just because it's something you don't use.
I didn't know that. So if you go online for Connect for Colorado, is that correct? Am I saying that right?
Connect for Health, yes.
Connect for Health, okay. All of them include maternity? And they're required to do that?
Yes.
Even if you are a 70-year-old dude?
Yes.
This is the face of confusion.
Yes.
Do they not? You put in female, male, right? And you put in your age, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You will. So some states there is a difference of premium on male and female. Colorado, I think, just got rid of that because there is no longer a spot to mark male or female when you're shopping plans.
Okay.
So I do think they just got rid of that. A lot of times women are a little bit more expensive because we do have extra organs and we can get pregnant. But in general, yeah, you could be a 60-year-old woman with maternity coverage. So in order for insurance to hit minimal essentials and be a healthcare.gov plan, an ACA plan, there's a checklist of things it has to cover, and that is one of them.
People call Kourtney.
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer.
I don't know. I might get pregnant. I might just go to this website. It better be safe
You
than
never
sorry.
know.
Well,
what's nice, I will say, Colorado is very good, and if you randomly wake up pregnant tomorrow, it is a qualifying event. So you then can get a different plan, and I think that's wonderful because you don't need your Cadillac plan until you're actually pregnant. So that is a nice thing. Most states don't have that.
So
Colorado
basically,
does.
you don't need to be covered for
don't
pregnancy
need it.
until you get pregnant.
Yeah, the minute you get pregnant, call me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does this factor in? Okay, this might be. I have to choose my words carefully.
Oh dear.
If you are adopting or fostering, how does that factor in?
So most of the time fostering, the state is offering coverage.
Okay.
So the state will actually pay the medical bills. Depending on the adoption, Some adoptions will have a thing where they will pay medical bills till they're 18, depending on how you adopted. Other adoptions, it's just a straight, like you gave birth to that child and now they're part of your family. And so you cover them as part of your family.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's good to know that you can change your plan when you get pregnant.
yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why pay for it if you don't need it?
That's what I tell everybody, because everybody, and I hit infertility. And so people will call me and be like, well, I want to make sure I have a plan that covers maternity. And I'm like, call me when you're pregnant, because it could take you 1 month. Like I have a friend who she planned all of her pregnancies down to within 2 months. Like she was just that fertile, and go her. I'm still jealous. But yeah, she would tell me, and she worked for me at my previous employer, and she would say, Kourtney, I am planning to get pregnant sometime in the next 2 months, because then I can take all the holidays off. And I'd say, you suck, but go ahead. And she did for all 3 of her kids. She was able to do that. And so I'm like, then great. But most people, when they're planning to get pregnant, it takes a minute. It could take a couple months. It could take a couple years. And so, yeah, and you want the Cadillac plan when you're pregnant, because you know you're going to have big claims, right? So,
Sure.
yeah, no, never pay for that early. Wait till you're pregnant.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
That's great. Good for her.
Yeah, I
Plan
know.
your life around that.
I know. I need
don't-
to get her to have babies for me.
Yeah, that's super rare. Like you never know when it will happen.
I know. I know.
So open enrollment started this last Saturday.
Yes.
Goes until December 15th.
Yes.
I know we talked about this last time, but what is, the difference of why open enrollment right now as opposed to later on after December 15th? What are the differences? What's significant there?
Yeah. So if I sign up between now and December 15th, I get a plan that starts January 1st. If I sign up between December 16th and January 15th, I don't get a plan that's till February 1st. If I missed January 15th and all of the above, I may not be able to get into a plan at all.
At all?
There are private plan options, but they may not be full coverage based off of your health and some other things. But you would need a special enrollment period to get on the ACA specifically. And that's going to be, I lost coverage through an employer, or I moved and lost coverage because I moved. But you really had to have had lost coverage, not your choice lost coverage. So
something dramatic had to happen in order for you to get coverage.
Yes.
Otherwise, it has to be in
Like
this time
pregnancy.
frame. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it has to be something big. So yeah, you want to hit open enrollment. Most people that are already in an ACA plan have to do open enrollment. And so sometimes they'll forget and they will have a gap of a month, right? Because if you don't sign up before December 15th, your current plan ends at the end of December. And then if you sign up after December 15th, it doesn't start till February 1st. They'll actually have a gap month. So yeah, you do want to make sure you hit open enrollment. And the biggest thing too is renewals did get sent out. And so they'll tell you, hey, your plan this last year cost you $400. You can go ahead and auto renew, and it'll auto renew for you. But it's going to be $520. I suggest just going in, whether you have a broker or not, and just, looking to see what other plans would cost you to see if you want to opt into the same plan or not. So
Gotcha. And I'm sure most of those notices that you get are the emails you don't read or the packets that go into the trash, and then you're surprised once the bill doubles.
I actually got the email, but it didn't break down the difference in cost, which I found really interesting.
Oh, that's interesting that it didn't.
It didn't. It just said to renew. Yeah, you can auto renew, but then you had to go through the process of auto renewing
To see the
then
cost.
to see the cost change, which I found whatever. Full disclosure and transparency is always great to have in life, but yes, I'm curious what sets you apart from other brokers.
I'm like a one-stop shop. So I come with people, you keep my cell phone number. Like you said, you don't want to tell your boss, things or whatever that is. Even when I run small businesses, I talk to each employee separately. They each have my phone number. When you get a bill, when you're looking for doctors, if you're worried about a bill, if you want to know whether to cash pay or to run your insurance, I'm just on call for those things. And so I have clients that text me. I swear I have no idea why they're going to the doctor this much, but they'll text me like once a week because they have a question. And that's fine. That's what I'm here for. I have other clients that I haven't heard of or heard from in a year. And that's fine too, whatever floats your boat. But that and I care. Sometimes I've realized with clients, I am so transparent that I think sometimes it loses me, my client, because they will find somebody that will whisper the sweet nothings in their ear, which is fine. I will never be that person. Like I said before, the biggest issue with health insurance that people have is that surprise bill.
Yep.
It's really my job to make sure you don't get it. And so I will tell you everything that's covered and everything that is most likely not covered that I think you might use. So you just don't wake up with a $3,000 bill you weren't expecting.
I really encourage transparency because this is money in our pocket or lack thereof. And it's good to know what you legitly are covered for because the surprises stink, right? If you go and you think it's a $2,000 deductible and you're paying 10, that is a significant change.
That's when you might have a heart attack.
Yes.
Well, right.
You know?
Then you're back.
But then
in
you're
the
covered
hospital,
100%, so it's
and
okay.
There you go.
Heart attack away.
Wow.
Just
Stay
kidding.
healthy,
Just kidding.
everyone. Yes.
That's awesome.
But I agree. Having a person to really walk you through it, and you are the expert, right? I mean, your boss is there to be the boss of the company, and that is their expertise. It's not really healthcare. That's not why they're in their job. So it is good to go to someone who can walk you through it. And you were amazing at that explanation. I have never heard it. It's like 400% over poverty. I'm like, okay, explain that to me. 'Cause
Right.
you can't really find that easily online, or I can't. You try and dig and dig and dig, and it's very general and doesn't get into the specifics.
Even AI gets confused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
I've actually ChatGPT. I have caught ChatGPT wrong on multiple health insurance things.
Really?
Oh, and
Okay.
Multiple, yeah. And I don't get me wrong, me and ChatGPT could be in a relationship. I love her. She's fantastic. She's a woman because she's smart. But yeah, I've caught her in a few things where I'm like, no, sorry, ChatGPT, you are wrong. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's so interesting when we've talked to people in AI. Again, we use AI and ChatGPT, and that's the world. But it's only as smart as the person who's programmed it.
Yes.
And it can only go as far as we are up to now. And we found lots of incorrect spelling and incorrect grammar. And so, again, highly encourage and recommend having a physical person help you with the tools of AI and the internet. That is a tool to help and provide resources. But my God, have a real person to talk to. Because sometimes it's wonderful to text or call and be like, hey, I have a question about what is this medication that I'm taking? Is this covered? Should I go to Walgreens? Should I go to the hospital? Should I go to urgent care? Like, all these are legitimate questions.
Right.
Yeah.
In my mind, right? We've been there. Like, do we actually go to urgent care? Or do we actually go to a hospital?
Urgent care.
How do we...
Always urgent care.
Urgent
Always
care.
urgent
I
care.
don't have to know what's wrong with you. If you're not dying, urgent care.
Which we unfortunately have learned.
I just had a client learn that
Everybody's learned that,
recently.
yeah.
Yes, I just had a client learn that recently. But yeah, I promise I make it simple. I know I'm using a lot of big words when I explain things, but it's just because these are very generalized things. Like, I break it down, I make it simple. I almost always save you time unless you're just going to go in there blindly and select a plan. And it's just because I already know what plans are in there. I already know what they cover. The only thing I have to check is which doctors need to, you need to see. And so I can check to network and I can check your prescriptions. But yeah, I can do all of that stuff a lot quicker than you. And so why not do it? And then I almost always save people money because, again, people will rate shop. And so they'll pick the least expensive plan, which doesn't work because then your bills throughout the year are way higher, right? And so I almost always will save you money just because you know what you're getting yourself into. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know we talked about this before, but I love the reason why you named your company. So tell us again why you named Willow.
yeah, so I love dogs, all things dogs. If you go to willowhealthplans.com, I have my dogs on there. So I had a deaf Great Dane. So my parents are deaf, and so deaf dogs tend to find us. And so I had a deaf Great Dane. Her name is Willow. And I always tell people, like, you have your dogs you love, and then you have some of the dogs that you've had in your life that are just like your soul dog. Like, I'll never forget any of my dogs, but you just have a different connection to them. And I just loved her. She was all white. She had a pink little nose. If you go to my website, you can see her. She was petite for a Great Dane. She was only like 120 pounds versus, my other Great Dane's 170. So a little bit smaller, but yeah, all white. And yeah, she was heavily abused before I got her, and she just made me so much more compassionate for people. And she was with me through my IVF journey, and and all the things. And yeah, I just loved her. And so it was really easy. If I ever have a girl, I'll probably name her Willow. I have new neighbors and their daughter is named Willow. And I was like, oh my gosh, I already love you. I'm just obsessed. And yeah, she was just my favorite dog in the world, and she deserves to be remembered. So yeah.
I didn't know your neighbor was Willow. That's adorable.
That just happened. I met them on Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're new neighbors. They came over to, like, we always take out a fire pit and sit in the front yard, because when you got dogs and the doorbell's going off all night, like, that's just the worst. And so yeah, we always sit in the front with a little fire pit, and so they live a couple doors over, so they walked over, so we got to know them, and she screamed her daughter's name because, you know, her daughter was doing Halloween things, and I was like, what did you say? Yeah.
That's awesome. I think they moved in very purposefully.
Yes. Yeah, she's also pregnant with an IVF baby.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
I think there are coincidences everywhere.
Everywhere.
I really do. What are the chances of something like that?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, they're so sweet. So yeah, except they're Steelers fans. So
I
know. We were doing so good, and then I looked at his beanie, and it was a Steelers beanie, and I was like, "Who are you?"
Move out.
They were so close.
We were so close.
All right, Willow and family, Broncos. Come on.
This is Broncos Nation, exactly.
Yes. Well, that's adorable. I love that. Yeah, I called my spirit dog. She was my person, and I think when you, I know it's hard. When you go through very tough times in your life, my girl was there through a lot of surgeries and losses and pain and all of that, and she was there. And that's that special bond. And so I'm so glad that you took something so personal that meant a lot to you, and you kept it with you.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, dogs, like, they just know. And so, you know, she would just lay with me, and she always knew as I was upset. She was definitely a mama's girl. Like, she loved my husband, but she was for sure a mama's girl. And yeah, I'll never, oh God, what a sweet girl. Yeah. Sweet girl. And if you ever have a chance, adopt a deaf dog, because they are the best. Because they don't bark at the doorbell. They don't get scared of fireworks or the wind. My current Great Dane is terrified of the wind. So imagine a 170-pound terrified Great Dane on top of you. So yeah, you know, adopt deaf. They're so good.
Dane, like,
I know. Well, and he, like, full body weight. Like, he wants to crawl in your skin. Like, he wants to be a Chihuahua. So
all Great Danes do that.
Yes.
And I love it when they come in for the hug.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
I am lucky he doesn't jump, because he's the tallest Great Dane I've had. He's only like 2 or 3 inches shorter than the tallest Great Dane in the worord. Nice. So yeah, he's very tall. So I am lucky he doesn't jump, because he, even like most of my girlfriends that come over, if you're like between 5 foot, 5'4", he's pretty much face to face. Like, all he has to do is pick his head up and kiss you. Like, he doesn't have to move. Nice. So yeah, it gets a little terrifying for the short ones that come over. Sorry.
It's all good. They're the sweetest dogs.
Yes.
All they want to do. Yeah.
That's him being terrified of the wind.
Yeah, well, true. You have to have a little something. I mean, that way you can cuddle.
They're very innocent.
You know,
yes.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry. I knew I would get derailed on dogs.
Not at all. Not at all.
Special place in my heart.
Everybody, we're speaking with Kourtney Roberts, insurance health advisor and founder of Willow Health Plans for people on the radio. It's willowhealthplans.com, 720-734-7702. Is that also a textable number or no?
Yes.
That is a textable number, so you can call or text that number. And then email is Kourtney with a K at willowhealthplans.com. Honestly, just leave it to an expert, especially with all these changes. And yeah, a lot of times, even if you are employed, you might want to go with a different plan. Completely. So, which I never even knew that you could do. So,
you should talk to me. And then I would say, talk to Kourtney.
No, I'll just talk to her. I'll bypass.
Man, I'm getting just.
She knows it. She knows everything.
I at least know that you can go away from
to Kourtney.
Employer. Yes.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that before I was in the industry, so you're good.
All right. Perfect.
People, you can shop around.
You can.
Yes. It's okay. Get what works for you.
And definitely do. And don't go to the website and call in, because even if you're a guy, you're going to get coverage for having to being pregnant. So
that's insane.
That is so
I never
weird.
knew that.
That is.
They automatically just cover you no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could have a hysterectomy and you still are going to have maternity coverage.
Right.
Well, that's why I asked if it's covered for like adoption or fostering, because they might hide under that umbrella to say, we never know. You could be 90 years old and want to adopt someone.
Right.
So I thought maybe that was, yeah. But no,
No.
whenever you get pregnant, you can change your plan.
Exactly.
So don't pay for stuff you don't need.
Any big life-changing event, right? Basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Kourtney, it's such a pleasure.
I know. Well, I have one more question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it.
Before, and you can, of course, jump in with anything else that's on your mind. We're now, 2 days into open enrollment.
Yes.
Your brain's probably swirling. What are the biggest myths or misconceptions that you run into besides being covered for maternity when you're a 90-year-old dude?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. The biggest thing, honestly, is people think they have coverage before they hit deductible. And it's either because they have copays or because they're getting a network discount. So they think they have this like amazing health insurance. Like, oh, well, I had $1,000 bill. It dropped to $600 because my insurance. Like, it's just because you had the insurance card. You know what I mean? So just understanding that. And like, I posted a video on social media today, but like, if you could just what your deductible is, your co-insurance, and your out-of-pocket maxes, like if you at least knew what those meant, you pretty much would understand almost all of health insurance. But yeah, most people don't. Yeah, I probably will do it next year, but I just want to walk around Denver when people, have had a few drinks and just ask, like, what does your health insurance deductible mean? Because I think I would get the funnest answers. So
I like
you
it.
get wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Let's have our videographer go out.
Ooh, I like it.
It's kind of like
Take
the
me.
Jay Leno, like street
Yes,
walking.
That's
like,
exactly
thing.
what.
Yeah.
Who's the president of the United States?
yes,
Right.
yes,
That
exactly.
has always floored me. I'm
Yeah.
like,
But for
really?
health insurance.
But for
yes.
health
Yep,
insurance,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
I would think the majority absolutely would not know.
No, and
Especially
I
if you
didn't till I
don't
did
have-
this.
It's actually, and I honestly wouldn't either because I have different copays, different deductibles depending where I'm at. What medication am I doing? Am I in a hospital? Am I in urgent care? It is interesting.
Yes.
Again, talk to an expert. Call Kourtney.
It's like taxes. Like, I swear they just don't want you to know.
It is. They legalese
Yes.
it up.
Yeah.
And it's so dang
Yeah.
confusing.
Like, if they don't know, they think it's good. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
it is interesting. It's
Yeah.
like on the back of the box of cereal. I'm like, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but
Yes.
I really like my Lucky Charms, and maybe
Yes.
I don't want to know what's in the
You
back
don't.
of it. I don't.
You really don't.
I don't. But in this case, you do.
Yeah.
Because it affects, well, I should probably stop eating Lucky Charms, but let's be real on
No.
that.
No, never do that.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But no, people should know how much they're spending.
Yeah. And know what your biggest risks are. There's accident coverages you can get out there. Knowing as a family you can go up to $21,200. Like, if you got kiddos, make sure you have some kind of accident coverage. It's not very expensive, but that's what's going to put you in the hospital a bunch. So if you can save $10,000 because you have accident coverage, do it, right? Like, if I spend $90 more a month, but if anybody slips and falls, I save $10,000, why not, right? And so know what your biggest opportunity is when it comes to health insurance, what most likely is going to happen. We can't predict the future, but if I'm overall healthy, what I'm most likely is going to cause me a big claim is me slipping and falling and ice. So, have coverage to support that. Or if I have a 3-year-old boy at home, he is going to think he can fly at some point in time, have coverage for that. Right. And so, know
coverage.
your exposure and know that there's things that can close those exposures. And yeah, it might cost a little bit more a month, but I can almost guarantee if you have one claim in the next few years with something like that, you save so much money. So,
Right. Good to know. Anything else that you want to make sure, especially with open enrollment, if there's anything swirling around in that beautiful noggin of yours?
yeah, no, the biggest thing is going with somebody trustworthy and knowing you have an out-of-pocket max. Like, I just can't be more dramatic about that. There's so many things that are going to sound so good to people, and that's my biggest concern right now is because rates are so high. These other plans rates are so much lower. They're lower for a reason, right? And so you have to know that reason going into it. And so be with somebody you trust. Go with somebody you trust. And stay there and just be careful. I just talked to a family and, they're on one of those plans for $600 a month, and that's great. The 600 is great, but they had no idea what they signed up for.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not worth it. I can get them into a full coverage plan for $200 more. It is not worth it for them to do something like that. And so, know what you sign up for. Don't just trust, what sounds good. So,
Right.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, Kourtney, thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. It's wonderful. People, you have 6 weeks. like truly don't procrastinate. Have it be a Christmas
Don't
gift
call
or
her
a
on December
holiday
14th.
gift. well, good luck. I know people will do that,
Right.
but let's be proactive and get it done.
And if you are outside of Colorado, still email, call, because how many states?
31.
31 states.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And talk to your partner and your spouse. Do you know how wonderful it would be to be like, hey, honey, you know what? I reached out to an expert and here's what I discovered. And now we don't have to think about it anymore because it's done.
Exactly.
Happy holidays. Here's your gift. I love you.
And it's not
saying.
Geico.
And it's, well, true. Again, shop around. You have different plans
Exactly.
out there. Get one that works for you and or your family and etc.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. If you just kind of caught the end of this, it is going to be live on on our social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And always feel free to rewatch it and reach out to Kourtney Roberts at 720-734-7702, especially for all of our radio listeners out there. You can call or text that number. You can also go to willowhealthplans.com or email Kourtney with a K at willowhealthplans.com. Definitely stay tuned in a half hour at 7 o'clock. Every single day at 7 o'clock, we have one solid hour of only Colorado musicians in the K4CO radio rotation. And then, of course, tonight, 9 p.m., we have another episode of Kinda Big Radio, all Colorado music, hosted by Rob and Andrew. So thank you very much for tuning into this interview. Everybody have an amazing, wonderful Monday night. Take care.